Hello everyone, it is Justin, aka GigaChadwick, here with my first video in quite some time, but I have made it about, I would say a different game on the channel, but technically it's a sort of spin-off to a game I have kind of covered already, which is the Phoenix Wright Attorney series, but this one is the Investigation series of games. Well, it's two games, and this is the duo of the two that I've got for you. So we're going to be covering the first game to start. Obviously, when it gets to like the tutorial section, I'm just going to cover all of that because I have played both of these games. Not the official variant of the second game, but I've played the official variant of the first game, and I've played the unofficial sort of fan translation of the second game. So what are these games about? So they do follow on from the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series and the kind of things you'll expect from that. But obviously, there may be some people who've tuned into this that have never watched or played like the Ace Attorney things. So allow me to basically fill you in. So it's kind of like a law thing where you have your investigation sequences, where you're going around all different places, finding evidence, talking to witnesses, things like that. And then you have your courtroom sequences, where you're actually going face to face with a prosecutor, because you're normally the defense attorney in the Ace Attorney series. But in the investigations games, which are the two games we're covering here, we will be on more the prosecution side. Yes, we'll still talk to people, we'll still collect evidence, but we'll actually be prosecuting people instead. There's not going to be any sort of courtroom sequences that you'll discover. Yes, there may be the odd instance in cases where you may find yourself in a courtroom, but we won't have those sequences of, oh, I present this evidence to this statement, which is what you'd normally do in the Ace Attorney series. The normal default main character in the Ace Attorney series is Phoenix Wright. However, you are playing as Miles Edgeworth, who is his best friend and prosecutor, sort of rival in this case. Now, when it comes to the investigations games, the first one, I'll turn that down slightly. When it comes to the investigations games, the first game is okay. It's not amazing. It gets you a sort of introduction into things. The second game is where it's really at. I would consider, out of the 10 Ace Attorney games, because I do include these two games as part of those 10, because there's 8 Ace Attorney games in total. There's the original, Justice for All, Trials and Tribulations, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies, Spirit of Justice, and then you have your Great Ace Attorney and Great Ace Attorney 2. Those are your Ace Attorney games, and then you've got Investigations 1 and 2. So there's your 10, in chronological order, I want to say. Now, you can actually play the Ace Attorney games if you want to as part of the trilogies. So you've got the first 3, which are the Phoenix Wright trilogy, and you've got from Apollo Justice 4, which is the 4th one, to Spirit of Justice, which are your Apollo Justice trilogy games. Great Ace Attorney and Great Ace Attorney 2 are separate games, but they're sort of ancestor to Phoenix. Obviously, we'll cover that at some point. I do have plans for that, but we're not going to be covering them right now. We'll cover these two. But I would consider the second game of this, going back to my initial thing on this segment, I would consider the second game of this to be the best game out of the 10. Like, no joke. The way it's structured, the cases in the game are phenomenal. but we'll get you doing the first one to obviously get you involved into how things kind of just work. I want to do the HD variant because obviously the original styles of this game were the pixel one, so I want to see what the HD looks like because this is actually my first run of the games doing it in this variant, so should be cool. I can't be on it long today because I've got a new desk coming, but I will at least give you about an hour or so. You know what, that goes a bit too quick. I was going to see if autoplay would give it like a couple of seconds just before it moves on. But it seems to be going very quickly. So I want you guys to actually see what's said. I don't want you to miss anything. So the first case of this game, obviously we know who it is we're looking for, essentially. But basically, it's just one room, trying to find evidence in that room, obviously learn the basics of the game, catch the guy. That's basically this first case. If it completes its first case in the hour, I'd love it. Keywords will be highlighted in a different colour to like blue. I'm not as good with colours. Like I'll be able to differentiate most colours, but some colours I will not be able to differentiate. Ooh, the expressions are actually cool. Hopefully the sound I've got it at now is actually okay. Damn it. I do make it a habit, by the way, of being silent quite a lot of time. I don't want to waffle on too much. I'm very subconscious of that. Because I don't want to be talking, and you guys would be like, just play the game. That's the thought process I have when it comes to this stuff. Should be getting into the like main tutorial things in a second. I do like this style quite a bit already. Detective Gumshoe. Okay, so leads will be highlighted in, I will want to say this is green, could be yellow, but I say it's green. So obviously it'll come up the screen and get logged into this little gap here. Once you get a few different pieces of logic, then you can put them together and be able to sequence things a little bit better, let's say. This should be the entrance folder. That's logic. Miles Edgeworth is best main character in the game. I love Miles. Find it crazy when he returned in Dual Destinies. Because I'm pretty certain he didn't show up in Apollo Justice 4. I keep saying it in Apollo Justice 4. So obviously this is logic. You may notice this green bar up in the left hand corner. Basically the little bit that's flashing at the moment. If you try to connect two pieces of information, obviously this is guaranteed to be correct. It wouldn't show you this otherwise. However, if you did, for example, put these two together and they were wrong, you'd lose what's flashing. And if you lost all of your bar, you'd have to basically go from your last save point, which is not ideal. So let's connect them. Right, now to do our investigation. See how much I remember. Yeah, no. so let's go here. Yeah, of course you do. If you haven't already pieced together, do you like a good pun? You'll definitely find that out later in the game. So the things you've already examined will come up with a tick next to it, so let's go here. Okay, so this is put down in the organizer, so kind of like your facts you've found out list. That's everything for now. So I don't think the books matter at the moment, so we'll go back. Go here. Of course you have. It's a detective's gun. Yeah, and he works in the police. Okay, obviously in this tutorial section, because we've gathered multiple bits of information, it's wise to obviously make sure you can obviously so it's gonna be these two. The kills goal will be like a layer of them. Wasn't the bit I was meant to press, but this bit. And then we go. No, that's not what I was meant to do. The other one. examine this area. Must be something else I've not examined yet. I think it's probably just connecting the dots at the moment. I wonder who this is. Can you guess what the pun is here, guys? Maybe something to do with the last part. Way to incriminate yourself. That means what exactly? He makes this joke. Well, he obviously doesn't say it as a joke, but it is a joke all the time. You're about to see something quite cringe. Your partner's just been killed. You've killed your partner. Yet you want to have a moment of farewell in such a way. Now we can investigate the actual thing I want to investigate, which is this. By saying he refers to Phoenix, for those who are unaware of the reference. Okay, I'm gonna leave it for a sec, just for you guys to figure out what might be the contradiction. So I already know what it is. I'll go to this. Now, think back to what we found before and examined. And if you haven't figured it out, I'm going to show you. It's the gun. If it is believed to be the murder weapon, then if only one shot has been fired and it killed the guy, how is there a bullet hole there? Eureka! So there were 2 shots fired. Okay, so 4. So, let's go with Killer's Goal, and the Killer's Goal, I would say, is to get into the safe. Now, has anyone pieced together something even more so about who the culprit could be? Like, obviously, we know that it's Portman, but something Miles said a minute ago should give you even more of an indication if it wasn't already revealed that it was Portman. Only prosecutors are supposed to know about the safe's existence. So, couldn't have been Gumshoe, he's not a prosecutor. Couldn't have been the detective, he's not a prosecutor. Portsman is a prosecutor, so he would know that prosecutors have a secret safe. So that's even more evidence to support the Portsman theory. that obviously, if it wasn't already revealed that it was Portsman, then it'd be him that is the criminal. Okay, so I would like to say these potentially acquired. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second again, because there is a contradiction already. We'll obviously bring it up in a second, but does anyone recognise what it is already? I'll give you a minute to think. Well, I'll give you a clue as we're going along. It involves a bullet hole. Pretty sure it's this. There you go. If it went through his abdomen whilst he was standing up, then it could absolutely not have been that long. I have a feeling it ends up being like oh, he says it. It is the Order of the Fires. What's that? Okay, does anyone notice anything now? not going to wait too long on this one, but that file is missing. So there is a file outstanding. By the way, when you complete an investigation, if you've lost any amount of the green bar that I mentioned before, you get a set amount of that back. So if I've lost like 1, I go back to full again. Let's say. I think it goes up by like 2 or 3 bars worth, if you get what I mean, like little sections worth. Basically, how we would do it in the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series when you're in a court, and you're doing the court segments, where you have a witness, they'll obviously say the statements that they believe are correct. You may press for any bits of extra information if you need it, but if you spot a statement that has a clear contradiction, you can present some evidence to it in order to prove it factually wrong. If you present evidence on a statement and it's not correct, you will lose a bit of a green bar. However, sometimes you will actually need to press instead of presenting. But the game does kind of give you hints as to whether to do it or not. So they'll come up with the argument first, and then the same thing again, but as you actually cross-examine it. Okay, so I'm just going to press for now.
Hold it!
You'll hear that quite a bit. The fact that this is sort of a throwaway line, however, is actually correct. It's kind of funny. Like, I obviously know Detective Gumshoe's plight in that sense. You guys might not, but obviously he has a bit of a history around his salary cut, or at least being threatened to have his salary cut due to inadequate mistakes, let's say.
Hold it! Hold it!
That little hint there suggests that that is the statement that we need to focus on, and the fact that he obviously has evidence to prove it. Will give you. So obviously this is the statement. So present. Has to be this really.
Objection! Objection!
I'll turn it up slightly. The over the top face expression gets me every time. Here's where Detective Gumshoe has a little bit of a crisis. For context, before she comes on screen, Gumshoe has a bit of a crush on this girl. I genuinely think she does have feelings for Gumshoe, but it's never really properly gone into detail. Just let Edgeworth do his bleeding job. Back to this. So there's your hint.
Hold it! Objection!
I'm gonna save slight bit of time and present the safe. Only prosecutors know about the safe.
Objection!
You can tell what he's trying to do here, don't you? You could probably tell how this is false anyway. We are going to leave it here because when it says to be continued, it is a guaranteed save your progress state. So that's a short little introduction into the first case. Hopefully you guys have gathered the sort of fundamentals as to how these work. Obviously, if you're already familiar with the games, then that's a little refresher. But if you're new to the games, like I said, nice little introduction. I will definitely be doing some more. I do plan to do a lot more. In terms of these games, I plan to do a Persona run through, doing Personas 3 Reload and 5 Royal. Before inevitably, and I'm going to guess September, October-ish of this year, as a guess, for when we get P4 Revival. So you'll get a little bit of Persona as well. I will be doing those run-throughs on the hardest difficulties. So, for example, P3 Reload on Merciless. I have done P3 Reload on Merciless before, but there's no point playing it on easy. So I may as well make it a little bit of a challenge. I do plan to do some Yu-Gi-Oh! I am just hoping that we do get RB on Master Duel, because I'll then be able to do some RB Sky Striker stuff. And if I really want to go the extra distance, I'll try for a little bit of an Orcus package as well, because that is what I'm doing on Omega, which is what we'll definitely be doing with RB in the meantime, until Master Duel decides, right, we'll give you another TCG exclusive. Because we do have Mimigul, we do have Mitsu, so those things are possible. If you have any suggestions for other games you'd like for me to play on the sort of level of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Persona, Ace Attorney, anything on those sort of levels, like I'm assuming Metaphor is probably going to get mentioned, and I do plan to get back to that, considering I did start it on Xbox, but I didn't really get into it too much, as much as I hate to say that, because it was actually a pretty fun game. I got to the bit where you meet, I think it's Hulkenberg, and you do like one or two little quests with her, and that's it. But yeah, I'll probably do that. There'll be a lot more. I am currently doing Persona 5 the Phantom X, but I'm currently waiting on that specifically until we get the newest part of the story, because I am literally at the end of the current content for the story. I've done the first boss, done the second boss, I'm halfway through the third boss, which is where we're up to. Now we have to wait for part 2 of the third boss, and then we do that, and that. So there's plenty of things I do want to do. Now, another one that I will say is that I am a Yu-Gi-Oh! Judge. So if you have any sort of ruling questions or any rulings or quizzes you want to run by me, and obviously if I have done the quizzes before, I will obviously let you know, and it might just be a refresher, or you want me to kind of run through how I see the rulings that are presented, then I'm more than happy to do that. Just leave your suggestions in the comments. It would be really, really appreciated. Like and subscribe, it would be pretty sick. I do want to make more out of the YouTube channel. However, we'll obviously do that as we go. So it is GigaChadwick signing